Okay, so get good drum MIDI grooves. You want to know how to use them. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, I think we should show you how to install them. Now, biggest thing is installing them. The first thing that you need to do is you need to see where your content is being placed. Content meaning your drums. So the best way to go about finding out where that is inside of Native Access. You go down here to Preferences, and then you go to File Management, and you're going to see where everything is located, including your content location. D, Documents, Native Instruments, Content. Now mine, I did that. I have it on a different hard drive. Like it's not on my main hard drive where like my operating system is. And so this is where mine is located. So now that we know where that's at, you need to navigate to where that is. That is this here, Content. If you double click this, you are going to see all of the Native Access instruments that you have installed. Now, for example, I want to add my new MIDI pack inside of my P5 kit. So P5 Matt Halpern signature pack, double click, MIDI files. This is where you're going to place what you downloaded into this folder. Now it has to be the whole folder. You can see it's the whole folder here. Like for example, Halpern MIDI pack. This is something that I already downloaded. I downloaded it and I saved it to this folder. So then all I had to do was extract. And so as soon as I extracted, it was in here. Now, once you do that, if you have P5 already open, then what you need to do, because you're not going to see it in here, you won't always see it in here right away. And so what you need to do to be able to see it is up here, there's a little exclamation mark next to the Native Instruments logo. You're going to want to click this, and it's almost like it's kind of resetting the software side, you know? And so it's kind of rechecking for any sort of differences. And then you should see your MIDI groove appear in here. For example, Halpern P5 MIDI pack. So next question, how do I use them? So once you have them inside of here, you have some here. Now there actually, you know, there's something that I should probably bring up because that could be an issue for you if you have your own custom key binding setup, right? Like inside of settings here, your articulations. Now, if they're different than the default, these grooves aren't going to sound the way that you want them to, or you think that they will sound, or how they should sound. So you need to go to your settings, and you need to make sure, like for example, I have mine on PV, so P5. I have mine on the P5 setting, which is the default. And you want to make sure that you're in the default. So if it doesn't sound right, you're probably not in the default setting. So now that we have it set up, it's in the P5 setting, default setting, we can basically come in here. Let's see, we're in 135, so we'll find somewhere that's close. Let's do 125. And what you do is you double click. Sick. I want that one actually. You know what? So next, say we want song 14 groove 2. Come up here, see where it says currently playing. Grab this guy, drag it onto your kick. Well, for us it's kick, but this is our contact instrument here. And that's it, literally. So now when you're in here, one thing that I want you to take note of, take a look at down here. Look at this. I'm in Ableton Live 11 and everything is labeled. You see that? You probably want that too. Now there's a few ways to go about doing that. One way is to basically have a MIDI effect rack and start labeling everything and have everything, you know, key mapped basically. Or on my Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/ChrisBedan, and inside there, I've already made the GGD PV routed template with MIDI labeling. Now, I didn't just do P5. I did One Kit Wonder Architects. I did the P4. I did One Kit Wonder Metal. I did One Kit Wonder Aggressive Rock. And I plan on doing more. Cool thing about them is they're already routed, but they also have the MIDI labeling like this. And so, you know, it's awesome. It's really awesome. And it makes things a lot faster and a lot easier to just get creative. Ooh, another important note. when you bring these inside, so, you know, when you do the whole click and drag thing here, when you're clicking and dragging them into here, like we just did, you're going to notice that your MIDI velocities are slammed. So that's one important thing. You don't want to keep them there. So what I do is I will Control A to select all, and I will hold down Shift and bring it down to about 100 at the toppest point. So here, 100 at the top, down to 80. So now that that's done, I will come to my snare, because we know what the snare is. It's labeled. We will click on that, which highlights these inside of Ableton. Hold Shift, and I'll bring these up to 106. Now, this only applies to P5 to a point. I have gotten this same thing to work with One Kit Wonder Architects. The biggest mistake that you can make is to have everything on 127. No dynamics, you know? Another thing that I would do too is, let's see, we have these on crash left. Now, let's say that they are on open hi-hat 2, and we hit play. Sounds good by itself. However, it's going to be too loud. Your hi-hat's going to be way too loud. So another thing that I do is I hold Shift. First, I select hi-hat 2, and then hold Shift and bring these down to about, I do it to about 94. I feel like it brings it right into the sweet spot of where it sounds good in the mix. Now experiment with that, but this is me kind of bringing that point up to you just so you know, like, if your hi-hat is loud, don't start turning things down inside of GGD and stuff. Bring your velocities down, because chances are that is probably what it is. Another thing is like your toms and stuff. Sometimes you have to bring it up. Other times it's the velocity could be too high or too low. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. You know, you're going to want to experiment with these things, but the most important thing is, you know, how to install the MIDI grooves and how to use the MIDI grooves and things to look out for when you are using the MIDI grooves and you bring it inside of your DAW. Now, this is going to work for any DAW. You're going to be able to do this with any DAW because it's within Kontakt, and you're just taking what's within Kontakt into your DAW. You know what I mean? And so just keep that in mind. To be honest, bros, like that's really it. It's really as easy as that. Thank you guys for watching the video. Discord is going to be in the description. Patreon, if you want to check out that stuff. I have other things in there, other really cool knickknacks. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that this helps you.